So the next step is to tie the discrete regions together for the submodeling exercise. So we're going to look at a couple of different approaches here. You can see the red line shows that there's no mesh connection or no congruent connection between those two regions at the moment. So first of all, we're going to use what we call a mesh independent tie. We can talk about some of the physics and the way that the model handles those criteria at a later date if necessary. But ultimately, we can define consistent load transfer across those interfaces, both for force and moment, by the use of the mesh independent tie. So we saw for the skin where we had careful control to tie nodes together. Here we're using a different approach, just running through the shell thickness again. When I moved the parts in the browser, they've just lost the shell thicknesses, just creating them again quickly. There we go. So just overwriting the existing shell properties. They're created. Just running through that. So Apex is calculating the shell thickness from the underlying CAD, and then we can see the thickness is defined again. Okay, those are the thicknesses of the interface. Obviously, the idealized model doesn't have spar and rib flanges or spar caps. But again, this is just an idealized approach. So we're now going to use the mesh independent tie to tie these dissimilar meshes together. Again, just as one particular way of doing this. Let me just select the right entities in the browser. There we are. Okay, so just showing the objects for those discrete meshes and then tying them together using the glue contact. We've actually glued across the two spars, which we don't want to do that. So just picking the two regions that we want. So you can see the glue contact connectors, glue contact markers appear. We can show only those. There you go. So, coarse to fine mesh definition through the use of glue contact. Quite a new technique. Well, relatively new technique, glue contact, but it's really powerful for this type of modelling approach. You can define any strategy you want, really. So we're just going to tie the whole thing together using the mesh independent tie. So any discrete meshed bodies will now be glued together. So we can just double check those against the model that we've got. Okay, so got the glue contact in there. You can see, if you look closely, that we've got the spars glued into the ribs. We're going to delete those glue connections because we want to use a third submodeling connection approach here where we'll have explicit fasteners defined. So just deleting those glue contacts or the mesh independent ties at those interfaces.
I hope you found this interesting. If you'd like to develop your Apex usage, head over to our site where you'll find many online learning opportunities.